Verse 709. The nature of birth or existence is like an image appearing in a mirror, which, while it is devoid of oneness and otherness, is not altogether non-existent. This verse is almost a parallel verse to the previous verse, which was covered in the previous video, so it might be worth checking out the previous video. So the nature of birth or existence is like an image appearing in a mirror. Mirrors are quite fascinating things, aren't they? Especially your own image as it appears in the mirror. It's as if we can see ourselves as others see us, and this is actually of quite a lot of concern. We want to take control over the impression that we make. Although, I think if I understand it correctly, what we see in the mirror is actually the other way around to what other people see. We don't actually see ourselves in the mirror as other people see us. We see ourselves the other way around from the way other people see us. But even if we know that, we tend to think it's not very important. And we carry on in the belief that we can somehow manipulate our image to our greatest advantage with respect to other people. So yes, we can spend a lot of time looking in mirrors. So in what way is the nature of birth or existence like an image appearing in a mirror? Well, existence, as it's normally understood, is something which takes up a lot of our attention. And yet, our understanding of existence is the wrong way round from how it actually is. We have all these experiences going on which we attribute to out there. Sensory experiences. So I'm looking at the video camera. That video camera, I will say, is out there, but it isn't. That image of the video camera is being processed in here. That is where the image appears. That is where it's being experienced. You might think I'm stretching it a bit by saying that, but if you think about sounds, you might be more willing to go along with it. The sounds experienced in here. We tend not to be too concerned with the physical source of sounds, especially if it's music that we're listening to on our headphones. But we still project, we still imagine a source of sound out there that is giving rise to the sensations, to the experience here. And it's the same with all the senses, including sight. Although with sight, it does seem to be, what we're looking at does seem to be firmly established out there. And you'll say, well, yes, it's okay. You're experiencing it deep in here, deep in your brain somewhere. But it's being stimulated or created by something out there. And that is it. We don't know this. This is an assumption. This is a belief that we live in accordance with. There is no way we can know. As far as we know, it's all going on right here. But we have this story of an objective external reality which is responsible for what's going on in here. There's a major problem if you subscribe to this conventional understanding that what we're experiencing here is a world out there. What we're experiencing subjectively is actually an objective thing. At what point does the objective become subjective? There's a basic discontinuity. It doesn't make sense when you actually look into this. All sorts of massive philosophical problems arise, which haven't really been resolved. So it's best simply to drop the assumption that there's something going on out there that is responsible for in here. In fact, there isn't any out there. It's just a convention, a way of talking. We've reflected what is here into a hypothetical out there. So in this way it's like an image appearing in a mirror, which, while it is devoid of oneness and otherness, it seems to be something other. The world seems to be something other than the me here that is experiencing it. We're very good at removing ourselves from the world when we talk about it. So it's not something other, and yet it's not something that we can describe as oneness either. And yet it's not altogether non-existent. We don't dismiss it. We don't simply dismiss it as something unreal. It represents one arrow of the attention. So if we imagine looking at our reflection in a mirror, here's a useful exercise. As you look in the mirror, get a sense of what it is that's looking, rather than just be totally lost in the reflected image. And this is what we do as enlightenment practitioners. The world and the mind are what the attention gets lost in. So just like I said, to practice when you're looking in a mirror, to get a sense of what it is that's looking, bring the attention back to what it is that is getting caught up in the world, in our thoughts, in our mind. We allow the attention to collapse in itself, and we let the world, we let the mind get on with its thing. This is said to practice being like the clear blue sky. The sky is detached from whatever's happening in it. So we detach ourselves from the reflection. We detach ourselves from the mind. We detach ourselves from the world. It's all like a big movie. When we're watching a movie, although we occasionally get lost in it, there are times we know it's a movie and we can assert ourselves as we're watching it. So this is what we do. We do this with all of reality. We do this with all of so-called reality. We allow the attention to come back home, come back to itself. In the previous video I suggest we call this will, because it's quite a powerful thing. The word awareness perhaps seems a little flaccid, but will implies a certain resoluteness, in terms of practicing, not getting things the wrong way round. Not allowing the tail to wag the dog. So the nature of existence, it's like getting caught up in a movie. In enlightenment practice, we realise that we're watching a movie. And although we can engage with it, we are no longer taken in by it. And we no longer have to have our moods and sensibilities determined by it. We can be free of it and be free to generate the bliss of nirvana.